Hi, welcome back again to the world of maths. Now revision is very important. I just had a student coming and telling me, hey Mrs. Kumar, you know what? I did very well in my Sec 4 part, but when it came to my earlier, I screwed it up. I said, what? I screwed it up. And I said, so your basics are not right. You need, see, I'll be very frank with you. This girl's a new girl, she came to me, but she improved in the secondary 4. But maths takes time to develop, right? And if you had all your earlier work in place and get it strong, that will make you strong, all right? So that's why the revision is needed. And I know my students, some of them who are new with me, need to build up on the basics. And I want to tell you, my dear boys and girls, look through your revision. Things like scales and maps are learned when you were in secondary 1. So that's why this revision is meant from Sec 1 right up to even the adults can look at it, all right? So this is important. Scales and maps, everyday life, as I go along, you will know it's a very gradual process. We build you up, and then from the basic, we'll get to the tougher sums by the end of the day. So be with me, my dear charge. Now let's look at this on a map. A length of 5 cm represents an actual distance of 1 kilometer. You know how important scales are, right? When you want to draw a draftsman, he needs to do on scales and maps. You cannot run away. This is a crucial thing in everyday life. And look at this map. They want 5 cm to represent 1 kilometer. And how do you calculate the scale of the map in the form of 1:n? Then the actual distance in kilometer represented by 12 cm on the map, and the area of the map in cm squared, which represents an actual area of 5 kilometers squared. Now let's look at it. Be steady. What they said, 5 cm representing 1 kilometer. 10 cm represents 2 kilometers, right? 20 cm, 4 times of it will be 4 kilometers. Now they want you to express it in the ratio 1:n. Now this must be the same unit of measurement and it's for length, not for area. Alright, you cannot say 1 cm squared represents 4 kilometers squared. Then you can put it in terms, nope, it's for length. Let's get it right. Okay, now let's look. Hey, what is it? 5 cm represents 1 km. Alright, 1 cm will represent how much? 1/5 of a kilometer. When 1 divided by 5, which is, how much is that, if you can tell me? 0.2 km. Alright, if you take your 5 and you divide by 1, cannot carry the 1, you get a 2. So it represents 0.2 kilometers. Now my dear friends, you cannot write 1:0.2. Ouch, no. They must be the same unit of measurement. You've got to change that 0.2 km to centimeters. Alright, so what is 0.2 km? You know 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. So 0.2 km, you multiply it by 1,000, change it to meters. And then to change it to cm, you multiply by another 100. How many zeros are there here? 3 plus 2, 5 zeros. You shift how many times? 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you've got in cm 20,000 cm. 0.2 kilometers is 20,000 cm. Now 1 kilometer, just to take note everybody, 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters and 1 meter is 100 cm. Alright, so if you were to look at 1 kilometer, look at 1 kilometer, you want to change it to cm. 1,000 meters, you want to change it to cm. Every 1 meter is 100. 1,000 meters will be 1,100 cms. 1,100 cms, if you look at it, 3 zeros, 2 zeros, 5 zeros. This is what you get. Alright, 1,000 of 100, 100,000 times. 3 zeros, 2 zeros, you get 5 zeros, and that's in cm. So what is 0.2 km? I just really want to reinforce this basic knowledge. So that's why I'm going into it. You multiply this by 0.2, 100,000 times 0.2. You get 2, and you shift right. You just put these numbers down first. Alright, 2 times 2 times 1 is 2. Now 1 decimal place, toing. You put a toing. So what do you get? You shift, you put a point here. You get 20,000 cm. Now once you've got that, we said, hey, 1 cm, you represent 0.2 kilometers. And 0.2 is this. So if you look at the scale, hence the scale is 1:20,000 cm. You do not need to write the units of measurement. When you write like that, it means 1 cm represents 20,000 cm, or 1 meter represents 20,000 meters. Wow! But do you want to have a map having 1 meter representing? Do we have a very big paper? Are we living in such a gigantic world? Alright, yes, I know the world is gigantic, but the scale that is measurable, you want to put it into booklets or drafts. So we usually take 1 cm, same unit of measurement, 1 cm to 20,000 cm. Alright, that's part 1. Now the part 2, the actual distance represented by 12 cm. So what is 12 cm? Now you know that 1 cm represents, now we go because they want it in kilometers. So 1 cm represents 0.2 km. So what does 12 cm represent? Alright, you multiply 0.2 times 12. What is 12 times 2? 24. 1 decimal place, so it's 2.4 kilometers. So 12 cm represents 2.4 kilometers. Alright, now we come to scale, we come to map area. They want to find out the actual area is 5 kilometers squared, and what is the area of that map? What's the area of the map? Alright, logical, my dear friends, logical reasoning. You know that 1 cm represents 0.2 kilometers. Alright, 1 cm represents, alright, 0.2 km. Now what are we given? We're given the actual, and we want to find the scale. So we got to put the unknown is always here. So this will not be a nice way of writing. I should write it the other way. I said, hey, let's look at this again. 0.2 km, you represent 1 cm, right? This is represented by, is represented. I better write, because this is the actual, this is the scale. Now 1 kilometer is represented by, because it's represented by, now this is 1 divided by 0.2 is represented by, you divide it, and what you get, 1 kilometer is 5 cm, which is already known here, given to you. I just want to bring it back again, and we can use it. 1 kilometer, you are 5 cm. Alright, we could use that. Okay, so just want to reinforce another method. So 1 kilometer is represented by, if you divide here, shift, then divide, you get 5 cm. Given. What is 1 kilometer squared going to be? It's represented 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer, you know the area, length times breadth, length times breadth. So 1 times 1, you get 1 kilometer squared. But 1 kilometer is how long? In the scale, 5 cm. In the breadth here, you look 5 cm, 5 cm. So you get 1 kilometer squared will be represented by 5 cm times 5 cm, 25 cm squared. I hope you've got that picture. When you talk about 1 kilometer squared, it's a length of 1 kilometer and a breadth of 1 kilometer. And that gives you. But this length, when you put it into a scale, is 5 cm. This length, when put it to scale, 5. 5 by 5 area, you get 25 cm squared. So what does 5 kilometers squared represent? Alright, you multiply by 5. So you get 25 times 5 is 125 cm squared. Now, so much for skills and math reading. This is just a very basic knowledge. When we write 1 is to n, please take note, this is only used for length. I can't say A, 1 for area. No, this is for length. And we've got to be very watchful. They're the same unit of measurement. Alright? And we'll come to question 2. As we move on, you'll see the level of difficulty. Hang on.